What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Intellivision sent out an update regarding their holiday plans and what they're doing with the Intellivision Amico. And while it was a whole lot of fluff in that email, one thing stood out to me that was fairly interesting. They created their own Discord server for fans, testers, employees. I don't know why or who or what this is supposed to be for, but I joined it because I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to see what it was all about. Turns out, it's basically John Alvarado talking to fans about the Intellivision Amico and Intellivision Amico Home, all 25 of them in there, telling them about what they're planning to do with Intellivision Home, what the Amico is up to, and why they're running into so many business challenges. They're facing a lot of financial issues. One thing that came up that stood out to me that I just had to make this video about was how they planned on financing the controller and talking about crowdfunding. And someone asked about the idea of doing yet another round of crowdfunding. It was instantly shut down by John Alvarado because of, well, haters. Hit the subscribe, give me a like if you enjoy this video, and check out SmashJT.com for the full breakdown of the conversation that was had on this new Discord server that you need to be an Intellivision Amico club member of. You need to have your Discord account. You need to add that code into it to join. It was jumping through a lot of hoops to get into this very niche area of gaming. But I have this morbid curiosity as far as what the hell is even happening with this project that I thought was going bankrupt like 3 years ago? No, it's actually still alive and kicking somehow. But I want to talk about the conversation that took place here because it genuinely blew my mind. The Intellivision Amico has been a topic of intense discussion and controversy over the past few years, and somehow is somewhat still alive and kicking. A recent interaction on the Intellivision Amico Discord channel with lead Intellivision Amico developer John Alvarado shed some light on the challenges faced by the company. It all began with a member's simple question to John. John, will profits from Amico Home, Switch, and Steam be used to fulfill those who invested in an Intellivision Amico console? Hey, like this guy, I'm curious to find out. What's happening with this? $17+ million raised over 7+ years of running this organization and nothing to show for it except some physical products that don't technically play anything because there's no console to play it on? What's happening with all this? John Alvarado responded, profits from Amico Home will allow us to keep moving forward and attract investors to fund manufacturing of Amico controllers and console. Which is a very broken corporate spoken way of saying, yeah, it's not going to work because no one cares about this. No one's going to buy it. It's going to fail DOA. No one wants this. It's overcomplicated garbage. But at least we can't get sued because we can tell people, hey, look, we tried. I know we got $17 million and we fumbled it away, but at least we put something out there. So you can't sue us because we can show that we tried and it failed. That's exactly what this Amico Home project is. And they know that. In response to John Alvarado's response, another user asked about the possibility of crowdfunding for the Amico controllers because they know that Amico Home, no way, no how, no shape, no form. Like, you can see the downloads on the Google Play Store. It's like 12 downloads of the game or 26 downloads of a game. It's not enough to fund a physical controller for a project. Like, it's not even in the same universe. So they know. They're not, well, not all of them are completely blind to it. Have you considered starting some sort of crowdfunding campaign for the manufacturing of just the controllers? I would think many of us would support such an endeavor, especially if you pack in a game or two with the controller fundraising campaign. I would argue no. That's a far cry from anyone who would actually put any more money and trust into this company, which I'll speak to quite a bit later in this video. But no, I don't think that's something that could possibly work, but I like that at least they're thinking differently, trying to find ways for this project to somehow morph into a reality. But no. We have considered a crowdfunding campaign for controllers, which, full stop, what? After how many many crowdfunding campaigns and investor campaigns and raising funds, rounds of funding and FIG and how many other areas they tried to raise money and actually successfully did, up to the tune of over 17 plus million. I think it might have even been over $18 million. It was so much money that I was just like, all right, they're definitely going to come out with a console. There's no way Tommy Tallarico could fumble away $18 million, right? Unfortunately, it would most likely be savaged and sunk by the very active group of detractors that sank our Start Engine campaign. So that is not on the table for now. So this right here, this comment, this is what made me make the video, because I was just so infuriated by the lack of awareness and understanding of reality, like no grip on reality whatsoever by John Alvarado with this statement. This proves that he is completely out of touch with what's going on right now. I remember when the Start Engine campaign went forward and I talked to Tommy on the phone, I made videos about this. I'm like, do not move forward with the Start Engine campaign. You've already raised too much money and not provided any product to the customers. You need to put up or shut up. Stop asking for more money, Tommy. You have $17 plus million in the bank. Do something with it. To which Tommy said, oh, thanks for your advice. And I'm paraphrasing. Thanks for your advice. We're still going to move forward with it. It's like, all right, well, just so you know, I am fully not on board with this. And I made a video talking about that. And after they moved forward with the Start Engine campaign, I broke away from Intellivision Amico. That was like the tipping point. Out of everything that happened, yes, there was a lot where I used to be on the side of it, and I was like, no, I understand that I was in the wrong with this company, because all they do is take. They don't give anything. They use an old name that has nothing to do with the origins of the company to pull the wool over the eyes of retro enthusiasts thinking that there's something that's going to come out of this. And there's not. And John Alvarado, in this comment, blaming the haters, or as he puts it, very active group of detractors that sank the Start Engine campaign. No, they didn't. Yes, there was a lot of detraction and comments on the page itself, like making fun of it and laughing at it. But that's because it sucked. Like, you guys didn't do anything. They were trying to prevent more people from being fooled. People like me that invested money in your company and found out later on that it was all for naught. The promises from Tommy were completely empty. Literally, nearly everything he told me, I want to say nearly just to cover myself, but it felt like everything he told me was a lie. Up to that point, I was like, you know what? He seems like a nice guy. I don't think he's going to lie to me because I'm his buddy, or at least he treats me like that. They're good people. They're working. I see them at the company. They're building stuff. They're putting stuff together. It's going to come out. And it didn't. And the fact that they're still around right now and doing this whole Amico home thing is clearly just to avoid a lawsuit. Alvarado's response is so insane to me, as it blames their unsuccessful Start Engine campaign squarely on a very active group of detractors. This would be their fourth attempt, I think. I mean, I've lost count, maybe fifth. But no. The haters are the problem. Not a company that keeps taking money from people and not producing a product, but it's the people that are warning others about the previous history of this company that are the problem. You gotta be kidding me, John. Alvarado crediting crowdfunding failure solely to critics raising questions brings up even more questions. In the cutthroat gaming industry, criticism is definitely not uncommon. Nor is it uncommon in YouTube. I've learned that as well. But you gotta understand, going into business, there's going to be detractors, people that try to stop your product from coming out for whatever reason. In fact, it's not so different from commenters on YouTube trying to stop your channel from growing for whatever reason. They don't like you. I get it. But in this case, you are promising a product and not delivering it. You are lying to people and continue this lie all the way to Amico home. And that's Intellivision and their failed crowdfunding, as opposed to successful crowdfunding campaigns that have faced and overcome significant skepticism from the community. There are plenty of examples out there that had success going the route that they did. Intellivision is not one of them. The key lies in building trust and excitement around the product. Now, Definitely they got the excitement part down. Tommy was going on literally every channel that I saw on YouTube talking about video games and retro gaming. Anyone that talked about the Amico, Tommy was on their channel to prop them up. It didn't matter if they had 0 subscribers or 1,200 or a million. It didn't matter. Tommy would talk to anyone for as much as he could. But that was the hype man. That was the person building the excitement and feigning the impression of trust. There was absolutely no trust there, though. It was literally just to pull the wool over people's eyes to attract more investors into Intellivision. I started to wonder along the way if they ever had any intention at all to actually put a product out in the first place. But that wasn't the end of the conversation. Let's continue here. The Retro Bro jumped in and said, to be fair, Intellivision ran multiple funding campaigns and raised a ton of money. I don't think the start engine was hijacked by critics, therefore the downfall. I think it had more to do with Intellivision not being able to enter manufacturing with the millions previously raised. If I was an investor, I wouldn't put forth any money with that kind of track record. Just my opinion, if I'm being honest. And I share that sentiment to the end of time. This company has burned up every bit of trust they've earned along the way. Nobody who has any sense of intelligence left in them would trust them with a penny of their money. This company, even if they have the best intentions, has proven that they have no idea how to run a business. And John Alvarado replied to the Retro Bro stating, I'd like to hear your opinions of Amico Home and games and what we can do to succeed with this product. Let's agree to disagree on the past. I mean, John, how can you blame it on haters when you never put a product out after you raised $17+ million? Like, honest, fair question. I legitimately, you have to be a complete moron or absolutely disillusioned to reality to think the Start Engine campaign failed because of detractors. You've got to be kidding me. Debating it here is not conducive to the purpose of this community. Thanks, with a flying bird. I'm particularly interested in your results with Amico Home on your NVIDIA Shield. I just published an update to Amico Home and Missile Command apps that I think will make them visible on the Shield App Store. Fingers crossed. So here, John tries to establish that he's not debating on the past. They want to move forward in what Amico Home is, because I do genuinely believe that John Alvarado is trying his best on Amico Home. I don't know if he understands that this is all going to be because they know they're going to get sued and they have to put something out and they're basically doing this to make sure they cover their ass. I don't know if John understands that or not. I'm telling him straight up here. That's what's happening, John. Whether you agree with it or not, ain't the problem, but that's what they're doing with Amico Home. Intellivision proper, Phil Adam, Tommy Tallarico, who I know is still a part of this company, Nick Richards, all these guys know Amico Home is a failure. Like, they're not that stupid. And I'd like to think you're not too, but I'm starting to wonder after I read this. They're not that dumb. They know Intellivision Amico Home is a failure from Jump Street. They have to put something out to prove to the courts when investors try to sue them, saying, hey, look, the pandemic, the part shortage, the worker problem, the money issues, the this, the that, we got sued by a furniture company, and oh my god, all these other things that happened to us, and look, through it all, we still tried to put something out. Give us a break here, Judge. We did our best. That's what they're going for. Anything more than that, you're completely disillusioned. And beyond that, John Alvarado is now asking the Retro Bro for information on his NVIDIA Shield and his testing results, basically proving that the whole point of this Discord is to use it as a testing hub because Intellivision doesn't have any employees to pay to test the product that they're actually trying to put out there, which is both sad, depressing, and just embarrassing. It's all of those. It's and more. Like, this is the most ridiculous situation that I've seen a video game company get themselves into, and how it's still going blows my mind. It genuinely does. But the fact that they've considered another crowdfunding and turned it down is one thing. That's crazy enough. But then saying the reason they turned it down is not because they know they're not going to raise the money, because they understand they've already burned plenty of bridges and no investor would trust them with a dime anyway. No, it's because of the detractors. Come on now. Even you, John, aren't that dumb. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And check out smashjt.com. Full article. I will link it in the description. And you stay smashing.
Smash it.